What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good Monday so far. Super busy day so far. Lots and lots of content today. We do got CVC tomorrow. It's going to be personal rewards, so we will be streaming that. So make sure you guys pop on by if you guys are on YouTube. With that being said, we got a little bit of player news here in regards to some events that will be happening during the CVC. Your pretty standard progressive events. I'm going to put that on the screen right now. All right, so here we go. So on Tuesday, May 5th, you're going to be launching a progressive event, giving you at least a 15x chance to summon the champion of your choice from following shards: Ancient, Primal, Sacred, and Void Shard. Now, these events are obviously very, very catered towards big spenders because the odds of you pulling any of these champions of your choice are very, very low, even if you have multiple cracks at getting legendaries. Now, the rates will not be boosted. The rates will be pretty standard rates, so we'll be pulling with these current rates posted, so they're not boosted or anything like that. Again, very difficult to even pull a legendary, and if you pull a legendary, 15% or 15x events gives you about a 7% chance at pulling what you want for the non-voids. For the voids, looking at around 15%. So not great odds, but we can talk about these champions here real quick. So on day one, we got Wallmaster Otherion, Archbishop Pinthroy, Firo the Barkhorn, Granite Doorkeep, Lay Kimmy, Lay Noel, Galut, Son of the Pack, Torment the Cold. So from this batch of champions on day one, the best champion here will be probably Firo for the vast majority of you guys. Firo's an amazing, amazing champion. He's in a lot of end game teams as well, mainly for a couple reasons. A lot of the main reason here would be his increased damage. So you're going to get a 20% damage boost if you have 4 more buffs. As well, he does bring Perfect Veil, which does cover, some things for like Hydra. He does cover some trials as well with the increased resistance. Bringing block buffs is nice, decreased accuracy, and then single target decreased speeds. Great against single target bosses like the Chimera. Firo, amazing champion. Great for, support and damage output for your entire team. So to me, he's a standout champion from this first day. Also, another champion that really stands out that's solid is going to be Aetherion here. Aetherion. Yeah, I don't have him, but he's a really good champion. He's got the AoE max HP hit on a 3-turn cooldown. He brings block buffs, decreased accuracy, attack. So you need accuracy on him. He is self-buffing, and then he does have a passive that increases his max HP, which makes him a little bit tankier. He can solo spider with relatively modest gear. He can pitch in some good damage for Hydra, and he can give you the block buffs that you need for Hydra as well. Solid champ overall. Archbishop Pinthroy. Now, Archbishop Pinthroy, I don't see him getting too much play. He's a decent champion, but he's definitely not as good as the other champions on the list here. He does have the 3-turn block buffs here on an AoE, which can help you out in places like Hydra. So you can bring him in for that kind of content. He does bring increased defense and shield, so a little bit of extra protection for your entire team. But the rest of his kit, honestly, can be pretty weak, a little bit on the epic level side. Like his passives just meh, decreased defense and weaken or remove from this champion at the start of each turn. I mean, it's very specific and it's not really that strong. And of course, his AoE block buffs can be replaced by somebody like Ugo, which is a incredible epic. Up next, we have Granite Doorkeep. So Granite Doorkeep was a fusion last year, I believe, during the Ninja Turtles collab. And yeah, he's a good champ. He was a little bit lost in the shuffle there when his fusion was happening, but he's a good champ. He's supposed to be a damage dealer. He can hit okay if you gear him up to do so. Not this ability though. His AoE ability does not hit very hard, but it's a really, really good, one of the best AoE block buff champions. He does bring decreased defense similar to Ugo, but he also brings an increased accuracy buff for your entire team as well. Like I said, he is a damage dealer, so you can build him up to do damage, especially with this attack. So you can ignore unkillable stone skin block damage. This can be quite good in the current kind of meta where unkillable is very, very popular. Block damage is very popular, and stone skin is still around in the meta for the arena. So you can definitely bring Granite Doorkeep. I've been personally surprised by some people that bring in Granite Doorkeep. Basically, if you see him on an arena team, he's probably geared to play. And if you don't want to build him as a damage dealer, you can build him as a support champion. He does bring Shatter, increased defense, which can buff up the rest of your team. And he does bring accuracy, so that's 3 buffs. And he does bring the decreased defense and block buffs. So he can be a great support champion if you don't want to build him with damage. But definitely don't sleep on Granite. As for the, let's see, we still have to talk about Lady Kimmy. So Lady Kimmy, I don't know. Lady Kimmy seems to have offered quite a bit in these progressive events. The big knock against her, she really needs this aura fixed. After if they fix this aura like to like 30% arena battles, I can see her be possibly seeing some play because she can come in as your increased turn meter, increased speed champion with the increased accuracy. That's definitely very useful. And she does have the decreased speed, decreased accuracy, and decreased turn meter as well. But as is, she needs additional speed aura from another champion so that she can be more effective in the arena. And then just doing that, just needing another champion just for the aura, I think is a big detriment to her. So as is, I don't think she's going to be super useful. I think just changing the aura would increase her value quite a bit. As for the void champions here, we got some good void champions. First up is Lady Noelle from the Sacred Order here. Lady Noelle, very solid fusion from 2 Christmases ago. She's got one of the best team revives in the game. So she does bring your whole team back on a 3-turn cooldown. They come back with 50% HP, 50% Terminator, which is great. And then she does have a 100% chance to freeze all enemies. You also have the option to use this ability even if nobody's dead. Great revive ability. She has a big aura in the arena as well. And then she does have a crazy ability here with Sir Nicholas, where she can target Sir Nicholas, cleanse him off, and then Sir Nicholas is unkillable ability will trigger, which is crazy. The rest of her kit is okay, but not, stand outish. She got a block buff A1, which is kind of annoying. And she offers a little bit more control against enemies under freeze, but nothing too crazy. But the package with her, with Sir Nicholas is, yeah, that's the crazy part. Alone, she's a lot more manageable. Up next, we have from the Orc faction, Galut, Son of the Pact. Now, Galut, he's a pretty, more recent champion. I would say, I think about 6 months ago. Very solid kit and a very crazy passive. He's got an A1 here, block buffs. He's got an A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. It's going to be a stun and a decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. So it's, solid. Like Ragash has a move similar to that. Decrease the turn meter of enemies without stun by 30%. That's pretty nice. He is Void Affinity, so no weak hits. And then on his A3, you got a 4-turn cooldown, full team cleanse with a big heal equal to his max HP, which is awesome. And then, of course, we also have on top of that, we have a shield and a fortify buff. So this fortify buff gives the champion with the buff the ability to ignore defense effects. So it's 25% ignore defense, if that makes sense. So a good, sturdy kind of protection there from the A3, but his passive really makes him shine. So every 10 debuff this champion's team receives, not just himself, his whole team, activates the Blood of the Pact, which is his full cleanse ability. So every 10 debuffs your team receives, he will full cleanse your team, heal them up, gives them a shield and fortify. On top of that, all the buffs will be protected. So the shield and fortify will be protected. Yeah, and there's no cooldown on this. So every 10 debuffs, you'll just fully protect your team. That's awesome. He's HP based. You got 35% HP in all battles. Really strong champion. Good for progression. Good for siege teams, I would say. Pretty nice champ. And then lastly, for the voids, for day 1, we have Tormund the Cold. Tormund got a little bit of a resurgence, not too long ago because of the inclusion of Hilvi. Hilvi has crazy synergy with Tormund. And Tormund's a very old champion. He's got an AoE A1, chance to freeze. He's got a single target strip on the A2 with a little bit of damage, ignore defense if they're under freeze and HP burn. Also has a chance to steal all their buffs if they're under freeze. And then he's got an AoE provoke, block buffs, heal reduction on the A3. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, which kind of sucks. This probably should be on a 3-turn cooldown to make it a little bit stronger. And then you can actually use him in Hydra if it's a 3-turn cooldown, because then you can use the provoke a little bit more reliably. His passive, very strong as well. Has a chance to place freeze if you receive a buff or have turn meter filled. And he has a revive on death if he dies. It's on a 6-turn cooldown, so it's not going to happen Not going to happen more than once, but still very, very cool. Good champ. Unfortunately, Stone Skin kind of shut him out, and then now, Mercurial's still going to shut him out. But he does have a couple AoEs, so maybe he makes a comeback. I don't know. Maybe he makes a comeback. At least he can break those Mercurial stacks a little bit easier with his AoE A1s. So that's going to be day one. So like I said, Firo would be the one that I would be targeting if you guys are pulling. And as for the Void Legendaries, I would probably take a shot at Ganute if you guys were looking to pull there as well. Like I said, I don't encourage pulling during these progressive events. The odds of getting the champion are very, very low. And did I mention there's actually going to be a fusion coming up on Thursday, so you should probably save your resources for that instead. Make sure you guys check out the fusion showcase video that I have on my channel right now. Let's hop over to the legendaries for day two. Got some more. I'd say this day is probably a bit stronger. So if you guys are interested in pulling, then try to target day two perhaps. We got two faction. No, actually, we have one faction unity champion, and it's going to be Fina. Blade of Arivia. Fina, I know a lot of people are looking for Fina, so this day might get a lot of action. And then she is a faction unity champion, so it's a little bit more exclusive. She does give you the option of building out certain teams that can be very strong, take advantage of her entire kit. Mainly, I would say Trunda teams, so that you can push big damage in areas like Hydra, for example. You got big buffs here, so all the damage buffs. You have the more buffs here, and then she has damage boosting here as well. So she does bring a lot. She powers up those Trunda teams to do a lot of damage. So Fina is going to be a big prize for a lot of people. Up next, we have Dune Herald Zaharis from the Barbarian faction. I see this guy a lot in progressive events. Don't see him a lot in actual gameplay. He's got speed in all battles, so that's pretty decent. 108 base speed. He can be pretty quick. He can be your fastest champion if you want. The big ability here for him is that he's a single target chance to steal all buffs from one target, and then he has a buff spread. So if he comes in fast, if he's able to steal all the buffs from one target, you're going to get all the buffs on your team. And then he shuts down that target with the block buffs, block actives, which is pretty good. He does have decent team support here with the intercept on one ally, and then he brings block debuffs, increased speed on everybody on a 3-turn cooldown. So that's very, very good. His passive also applies increased accuracy on everybody, and a conditional self turn meter fill, which is very, very decent. Turn meter steal and debuff spread on his A1. Also, very decent champion. You just don't see him very often. Unfortunately, it doesn't bring like AoE, crowd control or anything like that. So you really need him to connect on this ability, but it's gonna be hard for him to steal buffs consistently. Mainly Mercurial, mainly Stone Skin has a 50-50 chance of preventing that from happening, even if you have tons of accuracy. So he's going to be probably not used too much. Up next, we have a champion that I am using a lot more nowadays, and it's going to be Glaceia. Beautiful looking champion here. She's an oldie, but she was actually updated recently, and she was updated into total relevance. Defense-based champion, so a lot of base defense, 1500. He's got an A1 freeze with a debuff spread. It's not 100% chance, 70% chance of happening. It's got a A2 AoE attack, which is decent because you can, AoE attack, take off one stack Mercurial, and then steal all buffs from all enemies. Also places a weaken on a 3-turn cooldown. And then on this ability, it's a place block debuffs with a AoE freeze, and then a turn meter fill conditional on how much freeze you land. Now, the big thing about her is her passive. She cannot have her skills put on lockdown, which is great. So then she can play against some of the popular lockout options out there. Whenever an enemy tries to put this champion skill or ally skill on cooldown, places a freeze on that enemy. The freeze cannot be blocked or resisted. Also has a 50% chance of denying the cooldown effect. That chance increases by 25% for each enemy under freeze. Will not deny cooldown increasing effects from bosses. Whenever an enemy tries to put this champion skills or an ally skills on cooldown, instantly activates an instant turn. So her passive is really, really good at just helping you deal with lockout champions. So their big lockout champions right now are Crixia, are Fabian. Now Fabian's not going to be, he's not going to be hard CC'd by this freeze. So if you freeze him, he can kind of kick out of it. But this can happen to Crixia as well. So you can freeze Crixia. The deny effect, 50% chance. Unfortunately, it's not 100% chance, but 50% chance is decent. It's not too bad. Sometimes it does trigger and can be very, very effective. The instant turn is also very good. So if you get an instant turn on Glacier, you can come back in, freeze everybody. You get your instant turn, right? Freeze everybody. Or you can come back in, steal all their stuff, which can be quite disruptive. Obviously, the biggest combo would be if you can block the cooldown effect, get your instant turn, freeze everyone, or get your instant turn and then steal all their stuff, and then it's your turn, and then your teammates or allies go after Glacier, and then they against the stripped off team, then they can start doing stuff. There's some crazy stuff that she can do, but I think she's a very decent support. I've been using her a little bit more, just to help deal with Fabian. If anything, she could be like band bait as well. But yeah, very, very good champion now after her buff. Up next, we have from the Lizardman, Amok, the first Satrap. So Amok, I don't have this champion. Very cool looking toad dude. He's got an A1 buff steal with the leech, got an A2 3-turn cooldown with a bunch of stuff happening here. Decreased resistance, pain link, decreased speed with the heal on a 3-turn cooldown. This stuff, it's going to be good against single target bosses, for example, like Chimera. I think he was built with the Chimera in mind. Decreased resistance, pain link, probably to handle some trials, and then decreased speed is obviously very good against the Chimera. And then we go to the A3 block debuffs on a 4-turn cooldown with a heal. And then he also has this buff swapping ability as well. So if you have decreased attack and it's cleansed off, you now get increased attack, etc., etc. So you get a little bit extra value there if you have have cleansing on some of these certain debuffs. There are some debuffs here that won't convert though. So not too bad. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. It really depends on how much value you get from the buff swapping. His passive here increases his champion max HP by 10% whenever this champion heals themselves using a skill. So he's going to get this pretty quickly. He has 2 skills that heal. But yeah, mainly this guy, he's going to be decent in faction wars, a lot of healing and all that. But he's supposed to help with Chimera, but I've never actually seen this guy get used in Chimera. So probably doesn't bring enough to be super useful there. Personally speaking, I don't have him. So I haven't really play testing him out that much. Up next, we have from the Sylvan Watchers, we have Elva. Elva is a great solid support. She did get a bit of a resurgence when Chimera came back into the picture, or came into the picture. Elva has a speed in all battles, decent, good base speed 110. It's got a continuous heal A1. It's got a 3-turn full team cleanse with a block debuff, increased speed. It's solid, and then a single target revive here as well. Her passive, Perfect Veil with a little bit of healing for everybody. Good all-around champion. A little bit low on the base HP, in my opinion. Under 20k for a support champion. I think it's a little bit on the low side. But yeah, really good champion there. Great carry if you just need a support champion to get through faction wars, for example. And then we head to the Void Champions, sticking with the Sylvan Watchers. One of the best Void Champions, I would say, in the game. Neve, Spear of Nyrisa. I do have this champion, and she is absolutely amazing. I pick her a lot in Live Arena. I would say her overall value is a little bit lessened because she has a really great passive here where she places block damage on all allies at the start of each round, and each time this champion's HP drops below 50%. So you can actually kind of manipulate this so that you get a lot of advantage by bouncing her HP over 50% right away, whether that's in her kit or with the teammates. But nowadays, there's a lot more, it feels like, block damage countering champions out there. So I do feel like block damage has maybe softened up a little bit. But yeah, her overall kit is very, very good. If you're not ready to deal with this passive, she can be absolutely a very, very annoying, game breaking, match winning, match losing type of passive. It's got an A1 decrease, attack decrease, crit rate. Not too bad if you stick it on the damage dealer, so reduce crit rate. This attack can be very good. Her A2, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. If they're under 50% HP, you'll ignore 50% of the target's defense. So you can build her out with a little bit of damage. Her damage is based on defense, so just scale more defense on her. It's going to increase the size of her shield, and it's going to increase her defense. I stick mine with a little bit of crit damage so that she can kind of hit kind of hard. So it works decent on champions like Empress that revive on death. And then you can come back in with the A2, smack them, and then you'll get the advantage, the big kill here. And then you get a really, really big shield. So the weaker the champion that you hit, the bigger the shield that you get. And her shields can get really huge. And if you have the stars aligned, you kill the enemy with this ability, then you get the cooldown reduction. on your entire team, which is amazing. On a 3-turn cooldown, her A3 heals everybody. It's proportional to their defense. It can be a huge heal. And then she plays block, debuffs, and ally protection on everybody. And she comes with defense in all battles. Very, very good champion. I love her. My best pull from last year. Up next, we have from the Void champion lot for day 2, we have Cardio. Cardio, I don't have on this account. I have him on my alt account, and he is absolutely amazing. A huge carry. A little bit low on the HP, like I said, under 20k for support. I feel is a little bit on the low side. 106 base speed. He's not a crazy damage dealer, but he can pitch in a little bit of damage. His passive goes off quite a lot. Whenever an ally attacks, he has a 15% chance of jumping in, up to 30% when fully buffed. So he does pitch in a bit of damage, but I would say build him up with War Master so you can hit, with War Master procs. Big thing about him, he's got 3-turn AoE cleanse with block debuffs, revive on death. And then he has a nice team-wide ally attack, crit rate, crit damage, and then a cooldown reduction if you kill somebody. A1 team heal as well. Good general support, can boost damage, can increase your survivability. Yeah, like I said, I pulled him, and he was a big carry from my ult account, especially early on. And then lastly, for the Void champions here, we have a lockout that maybe is making a little bit of a comeback. I've been drafting him, once or twice here or there. Whenever, for example, Fabian's not available and I really need the lockout. Yeah, Warlord. Warlord was my first big champion that I pulled on my main account. I forgot how many years ago, 4 years ago, and he definitely transformed my account. This was before Mythicals. He's got the big ability here with a big turn meter drop, fully deplete all enemy skills, put them on cooldown, and then he has 100% chance of he has a 60% chance, there we go, 60% chance of fully depleting the turn meter. This is a big ability. The 60% chance the turn meter deplete is actually very crippling. And then he brings a bit of survivability here with block debuffs, shield, and a big heal. I think the big knock against him, no speed aura. His kit's a little bit on the dated side, and his base speed is only 100, which makes it a little bit harder to get him super fast, but still a very useful champion for like a lot of content, PvE content, and still useful in arena. Just less picked because he's a slightly weaker option in terms of cooldown lockout champions, but he might be the only one you have, and he's still worthy of being a pick. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for these 2 progressive events on Tuesday and Wednesday. They're going to be happening during CVC. Like I said, I definitely recommend holding your shards regardless of how good some of these champions are. The odds of pulling them are very low, and like I said, we do have a pretty good fusion coming up on Thursday, so maybe save your resources for that instead. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Have a great Monday. Thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time. Make sure you guys check out some of the new test server videos that I have out for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.